So this hour, we are talking all about parking in Cambridge. You could be paying up to 9% more to park in the city in future. The City Council is consulting on proposals to hike up prices in the car parks it runs, but it will be free to park there overnight. Just before we came on air, I spoke to Councillor Katy Thornburrow, Executive Councillor for Planning and Infrastructure on Cambridge City Council, and I began by asking her what the idea is behind increasing these car parking charges.
We want to roll out 117 new EV charge points in our car parks. So they're not in our streets, but in the multi-storey car parks and the small car parks around the city, so that people who have their EV cars but do not have the ability to charge them in front of the homes can charge them in the local car parks.
So part of paying for that then comes from increasing car parking for non-electric vehicles?
Well, I think most people will be parking overnight to recharge. So we're going to take the charge overnight and make it free, but we're going to increase the daytime charge by 9%. We've not increased the charge for 4 years now during COVID and the recovery from COVID. So we are going to make an increase now to help cover the investment.
Now, the prices haven't been increased for several years, it's true. However, for people who do, say, already go to somewhere like Norwich to shop, they'll know that the charges there are significantly lower. Obviously, if you park in Ely, it's free anyway. So while the prices haven't been increased, they are quite high in Cambridge already.
Well, we find that the charges that we collect are used to maintain the car parks and the service, but it's also used to maintain our services. So the charges, the income is really appreciated and it's used, but also the car parks are actually well used. But we would like, it's a consultation to the 14th, so we would like all business users and visitors to come and tell us what they think about this and whether they think it's a good idea or whether they think it would be problematic.
Particularly in a cost of living crisis, do you speculate that the reception may not be positive because people are already concerned about the amount of money they're having to spend on things if suddenly a shopping trip to buy something quite important, to buy some essentials, suddenly becomes very expensive?
Then it is a 9% increase, but it's actually a couple of pounds extra on the existing cost. So it is a bit extra, but it will ensure that we keep we continue to provide the service. But it will also with the increase in EV charge points, we want to provide more community cars, electric community cars across the whole city, so that and we aim that these will be cheaper to be a member and use them than run your own private car. And also with the diesel and petrol cars being phased out in 2030 and then even hybrid cars being phased out by 2035, we want to make sure we've got this provision of EV points across the city that people can use.
Just to look at the actual cost of parking, I know you say it's just a small increase, but say you are going into Cambridge for several hours. So say it's a 5-hour stay in a car park, which isn't impossible if you were, going around the city and the shops are quite spread out, and say you've got a young family to try and chivvy along. How much would that cost us?
It depends what time of the day you go. There are peak times which are more expensive, and then...
Would I be right in saying to park in one of the Grafton car parks it could cost as much as £27?
Well, certainly if you're parking for a lot of the day, yes. I think it is at the moment, if you chose to park all day, it can be quite substantial. So we want to encourage people to come in by public transport and use the park and rides more, use the train to Cambridge North and Cambridge Main Station to come in.
Say you are a young family who, you've got a baby in a buggy, you've got a toddler, maybe you've got a slightly older child as well. Do you suspect that family may just say, we're going to go to Ely, we're going to go to Milton Keynes or Norwich, depending on the kind of shop they want to do, where the parking is going to be more reasonable, and arguably in some places the shop offerings may be better anyway?
Well, this is one reason why we're having a consultation. We would like to know whether it will change people's behaviour. I think that people coming into Cambridge would be looking at the prices already, and maybe they'll recognise that they haven't gone up for 4 years, and we're still below inflation, but we decided not to increase for 4 years, and now we think it is time to do that. But with the benefit of free parking overnight.
Well, yes, I think one of your hopes is that people will therefore choose to park at night after 6 p.m. You'll boost the nighttime economy. From my experience, depending on where you live, if you live close enough, if you are going for a night out and no one wants to be the designated driver, you may well get a taxi anyway, and parking is off the agenda. But also, if you're a local resident, you tend to know the places which go outside, the meters aren't charging you after a certain point anyway. You can park a bit further out, you can walk in, and you're parking for free anyway. So do you think it is going to, from your analysis, from your sort of thoughts on introducing this, do you think it will have a big impact on the nighttime economy?
No, I think the nighttime economy, from what I see, is actually rebounding well in Cambridge. And this, looking at the car park use, is not an isolated, strategic part of the plan on how we see Cambridge and our roads in the future. We want to reduce the congestion. So we're hoping that the bus services will be improved so that the buses to the park and ride will run much later, and also over the weekends, so that people have the options to use the park and rides more, or be able to cycle around more, or be able to use the car parks if they drive in.
And you mentioned this is out for consultation at the moment. If you get an overwhelming response that people feel that this is unreasonable or they can't afford it, they don't approve, will you look again at how much you're increasing charges by, and perhaps increase it by less than 9%?
That's possible, yes. We will definitely review all of what the businesses say, what the residents say, and see what the balance is.
That's Councillor Katy Thornburrow, Executive Councillor for Planning and Infrastructure on Cambridge City Council. Coming up this hour, we're going to be hearing what residents and businesses have to say about this proposed price hike on the City Council's car parks. I'd love to know what you make. Maybe you already accept that it just costs quite a bit if you want to park in Cambridge. It's a very popular destination with tourists, people travelling from further afield than just us and the surrounding villages. So maybe you are comfortable paying even 9% more. Or would it put you off coming into the city full stop? Would you be more likely to come in during the evening if parking was free? Are you excited about the council's plans to maybe improve some of the bus services and also look at including more electric vehicle charging points and maybe some kind of community electric vehicle scheme? Maybe that is the part of the news that you're focusing on. What are your thoughts? 08000 85 95 96 to call, 81333 to text. Start your message CAM. You can email me in the studio, thunderferry@bbc.co.uk. Thordy's here looking after mid-morning in for Jeremy Salas just for one more day. So here with you through until 2.